Welcome NCERT class 11th unit 2, that is presentation of data. Today we will try to understand how to construct the histogram and frequency polygons. Before understand the concept of histogram and frequency polygon, we should recapitulate the meaning of statistics, stages of statistical study, statistical tools, and presentation of data. Then coming to what is statistics? What is statistics? Statistics is the science that deals with the method of collecting, classifying, presenting, comparing, and interpreting the numerical data collected through some light on any sphere of inquiries. Then, after statistics, we should know the stages of statistical study. There are 5 stages of statistical study. Number 1 is the collection of data. Number 2 is the organization of data. Number 3 is the presentation of data. And number 4 is the analysis of data. And number 5 is the interpretation of data. Actually, we have to read the presentation of data. Then coming to the statistical tool. Before we read the presentation of data or before we read the frequency, polygons and histogram, we must know what are the statistical tools. The tools which can be used or which can measure the statistical method or statistical value is known as statistical tools. Each stage of statistical study involves the use of technique or method is known as statistical tools. Then the stages. The stages 1, the collection of data, and the statistical tools are the census or sampling methods. Then coming to stage 2, organization of data. This organization of data must be measured through the telebars or classification of data. Then stage 3. Stage 3 is the presentation of data. In the presentation of data, we have to the statistical tool used in the presentation of data, that is table, diagram, and graphical presentation of data. And then stage 4 and 5 we will read in the next class. But in this presentation of data, we should not read today, that is table and diagrammatic presentation of data. We have to read only the graphical presentation of data, and out of the graphical presentation we have only read the histograms and frequency polygons. Before going to the histograms and frequency polygon, we must know what is graphical presentation of data. The graphical presentation of data means the presentation of data which can be shown in the form of histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve, ogive is known as graphical presentation of data. Graphical presentation data. And this graphical presentation data can be shown first in the histograms. What is histogram? Histogram is joining rectangular diagram of a continuous series in which each rectangular represents the class interval with the frequency. It is a two-dimensional diagrams and also called frequency diagrams. Histogram can be constructed in 4 ways. Number 1, histogram with equal class intervals. Number 2, histograms when midpoints are given. Number 3, histogram when unequal class interval is given. And number 4, histogram when inclusive method is given. First we have to calculate the histogram with equal class intervals. First consider what is class intervals. What is class interval? The difference between the upper limit and lower limit is known as class intervals. Then what is equal class intervals? Equal class interval means in a series all the class interval from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 and 90 to 100 it must be equal. And in case of class interval 10 to 20, 20 to 30 and frequency is given 1, 4, 5, 5, then 3.5, then 3, then up to 90 to 100, that is 1.5. Then we have to construct the histograms. We have taken the value of the scale from x-axis and y-axis. In case of x-axis, we can take the 10 students. In case of frequency or y-axis, we have to take 1. Then coming to this histogram with equal class intervals, we have to draw the diagram. You can see the 10 to 20, 30, and it can be shown in the x-axis, and the frequency you can shown in the y-axis and draw the histogram to the equal class interval, that is 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and the maximum frequency is the 5, we have to shown 30 to 50 the points, and last is the 90 to 100, it is 1.5. Just like we have to draw the histogram when midpoint is given. What is midpoint? Midpoint is the value in which the lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2, that is known as midpoint. And in this methods, in this midpoint is given, histogram when midpoint is given 5, 15, 25, 25, 35 and 45. Midpoint is given just like midpoint is given 5, 25 and the frequency is given, then frequency is given 2, 5, 7, 10 and 4. We have to convert the midpoint into the class intervals. We have to convert the midpoint to class interval. How can we convert from the midpoint to class interval? The first midpoint is the 5 and 15s. The first midpoint you have seen the 5 and 15s. The first is the 5 and 15s. 5 and 15s. Then how can you calculate the class interval? First you have to do the 15 minus 5 divided by 2 equal to 10. Then we have to 10 divided by 2 equal to 5. We have to equal to 5. Then this 5 can be added from the first midpoint. 5 plus 5 equal to 10. Then 5 minus 5 equal to 0. That means the first class interval is the 0. First class interval is the 0 to 10. Second class is the 10 to 20. Third class interval is 20 to 30. 20 to 30. Just like the class interval converted to 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. And frequency is given 2, 5, 7, 10 and 4. And we have to draw the diagram on the basis of class interval, which can be converted from the midpoint to class intervals. And what is these adjustment factors? The adjustment factor is the difference between the first and second midpoint divided by the 2 and get the interval and get the class intervals and draw the histogram. On the basis of this method, we have to draw the histograms, that is called histogram when midpoint is given. Then coming to the histogram with unequal class interval is given. What is unequal class interval? You can see the unequal class intervals. That is the 50 minus 30 equal to 20. Just like you can see the 70 minus 90 is 20, but lowest class is 10. 50 minus 60, that is 10. 60 minus 70, that is 10. 100 minus 90, that is 10. So we have to first calculate the adjustment factors. What is adjustment? You can see the adjustment factors. Adjustment factors mean the class interval of the concerned class divided by the lowest class interval. That is known as adjustment factors. And this adjustment factor can be calculated in this example. You can see. Mean the first mark is the difference of 50 minus 30 is 20. 20 is the class interval of the concerned class, and the lowest class interval is the 10. 20 divided by 10 equal to 2. Just like next 10 divided by 10 equal to 1. Next 10 divided by 10 equal to 1. Then 70 minus 90 minus 70 is 20. 20 divided by 10 equal to 2. This is called adjustment factor. Then we can calculate the frequency density. How can you calculate the frequency density? The original frequency divided by the adjustment factors. That is 48 divided by 2 equal to 24. That is 48 divided by 2 equal to 24. And 30 divided by 1 equal to 30. 20 divided by 1 equal to 20. 28 divided by 2 equal to 14. 16 divided by 1 equal to 16. And on the basis of frequency and class intervals. We have adjustment frequency, we draw the histogram. There should not be any change in the class interval, we have to change only the adjustment frequency, and draw the histogram with unequal class intervals. Then coming to the frequency polygons. What is frequency polygons? You can say what is frequency polygons? Frequency polygon is another form of diagrammatic presentation of data. A frequency polygon is a graph constructed by using lines to join the midpoints of the top of all rectangles. However, they can be formed even without constructing the histograms. Frequency polygon can be drawn in two ways. One is with the histogram, another one without histograms. First, frequency polygon with histograms. Means in this case, we have to construct the histogram first. Histogram first, that is 100 to 220 is 10, 200 to 327, 300 to 437, 400 to 524. We have to construct the histogram first. Then we can add the midpoint of the each class intervals. What is the midpoint of the each class intervals? That is 100 to 200, that is 150. Then coming to the 250, then 350, then 450, just like. Then we add all these points. We add all these points and get the frequency polygons. That is the frequency polygon with the histograms. Then coming to in this case, the total area are excluded. The total area excluded from the histogram is equal to the area included under frequency polygons. Then coming to the frequency polygon without histograms. Frequency polygon means in this case the midpoint is given and the frequency are given. We should not convert the midpoint to the class intervals. Just only we have to write the class intervals, but we are not necessary to convert. Directly you write midpoint 55, 65, 75, 85 and 95. And the frequency 1, 4, 6, 5, 2. We have to construct the frequency polygons without constructing the histograms. Only we have to show the midpoint. Midpoint is the 50 to 60, 60 to 70, that is 55, then 60 to 70, that is 65, 75, 70 to 80, that is 75, 80 to 90, that is 85, 90 to 100, that is 95. And we have to draw the histograms. We should not draw the histograms, you only draw the frequency polygon through the midpoint. This is the frequency polygons without histograms. Thank you. We'll read the pre-OGIP and in the next class.